So you were saying about some weddings that there's gluten-free guests there.
Yes.
So how do you manage that?
We don't put gluten-free cakes in our wedding cakes. We will provide individual cupcakes
Right.
that are packaged into noodle boxes, and then they are marked GF for gluten-free or the guest's name.
Okay.
That way the cake won't get mixed up with the wedding cake.
Okay.
So these chocolate gluten-free cupcakes are then placed appropriately
Around,
and
right.
to whomever,
Okay.
and then that way they won't get mixed up. So there's no problem there.
Awesome. Easy.
These.
Okay. So just to recap, so if there's Betty down the road that's advertising to do wedding cakes, and obviously she's going to be cheap. She's working from home. She might be cutting corners and stuff like that, and not using the boards or the spikes. What would you call them?
What do I call them?
The skewers. Yeah, the skewers. So if she's not doing any of that stuff, how do the couples tell that?
They need to ask the simple question: how do you present your cake? How do we know that this is going to be a nice, stable cake?
Right. Okay.
And they can ask those questions. They can ask to look at photos, try the cake, all that sort of thing. Ask to look at the website.
Right.
If they don't have a website, that's a very good indication that it's not so good.
Okay. I mean, they don't do that many weddings.
They don't do that many weddings because they may only do a couple every couple of months, which is not a lot.
Sure.
So the skill level is not always going to be there if they're not constantly doing cakes.
Okay.
We keep up with the latest trends. I do courses.
You did a course just last week.
I did, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
And we like to keep up with the latest work. And that
Sure.
is a really good indication also that people are still passionate about what they do. They want to go and learn.
So do you need a qualification?
No,
Okay.
no you
So
don't.
you can't really ask, same as photography, you don't have to show anything.
That's exactly right. People ask me for a pastry chef and things like that. No, I'm not a pastry chef.
Right.
Everything I've done, I've learnt from scratch.
Right.
I have a lot of books, done a lot of courses, things
Right.
like that, but there's no actual qualifications. Which I kind of think sometimes it would be a good idea if there was,
Yeah.
because it would help weed out a lot of
Sure.
people who
Yeah.
shouldn't be making cakes. And I think getting back to if they don't have a website and they may just have a Facebook page, that's still not enough for me.
Right.
They're
okay.
just like little snapshots and things like that. So there's no action, because anybody can have a Facebook page.
Sure.
Just the same, I guess, as anyone can have a web page as well. But on the web page, you're hoping that they're putting up their work
Yeah.
so that you can
You
see
need
that.
a bit more substance to have a website.
Yes.
You need more than just a couple of photos.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And Facebook is great too, but it's not the same as going to a professional person who wants to really portray their work in the best way possible.
Okay. So, and what about word of mouth referrals? I'm sure they're good. So, previous
Yes. Yes.
other services, and I imagine the reception centres are probably one of the best.
Reception centre is great. They will point you in the right direction. They may give you a couple of cake people to look at, which is good because some people may want a croquembouche like that. I've known people where they've wanted an ice cream cake.
Okay, so that's another specialist will do
That's right.
that. Okay.
We wouldn't do an ice cream cake. Kind of doesn't make sense to me
Yeah.
because it would melt quite quickly.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's just things like that that I think the reception venues are good at doing that type of referral work.
Yeah.
And they also can weed out people who shouldn't be doing cakes.
So they're only going to refer someone that's good to deal with.
That's right.
That does a good job.
That is
So
exactly
you
right.
listen to them.
And like yourself, you see the wedding cake, you're at the wedding, you know what goes on.
Sure.
You would see a cake if it's fallen over.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those.
You'd have that on camera.
I've seen a few of those. They're not good.
No, it's not, because sometimes, I mean, I guess I'd look at it and think it was funny.
Yeah. I'll probably do secretly too inside.
But, you know, that can really make a terrible day for brides and things
does.
like that. So, you know, florists, we work quite closely with a florist too, because a lot of people have fresh flowers and
On their cake?
on their cakes, yeah. So their word of mouth is really good. Hence us, the same thing. We know good florists as well. So because we see the flowers.
Yeah.
So that referral work, if you're getting a few people saying, oh, you've got to go to this person, then you're going to be pretty well sure that it's okay.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've just mentioned skewers before.
Yes.
And I know that I've only heard that term from you because you're talking about the structure of cakes. You mentioned that a couple of times.
Yes.
So what's structure?
Structure is the way the cake is presented on the inside, which can make the outside look really, really beautiful and stable. And structure is important because you want your cake upright. So each cake is on its own separate board. There are skewers supporting the weight of the cake that's on top. And then if it's a 3-layer cake, there will be a centre pole in the centre And the same thing with a four-tier cake. That will have a centre pole as well.
So it's not the cake at the bottom holding up the cake on the top.
No.
It's the skewers,
It's the
and
skewers
the boards inside.
And the boards, yep.
Okay.
And keeping it nice and straight is that centre pole, which is great for travelling. We have double boards down the bottom, so a 3-tier cake can have 5 boards in there.
Okay. So the home cook would be using things
No.
like that.
And the home cook may reuse the boards and things like that, which is not
But
preferable.
you guys don't do that. Okay. Awesome. Well, that's unreal, Julie. But how do people find you if they're? Like, do you service Sydney, Central Coast, Newcastle?
Yeah, Newcastle, Hunter Valley.
Okay.
A lot of work in the Hunter Valley. So
Awesome.
we're situated at Crown Plaza, Terrigal.
Yep.
And our website is www.thesweetestthings.com.au.
Fantastic. I'll put links to all that on the blog as well, and click into the video. So thanks for coming in. That's awesome.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie.